Hi, I'm Mike. You're watching Spiritual Combat, and today, it being Martin Luther King Day, I'm discussing, that whole civil rights movement, and I'm not going real in depth. Just in a nutshell, what happened. There's plenty of information out there, so you can research what I'm saying. But dealing with Martin Luther King. That whole situation, what happened with him is the government deceived him. And he woke up to that deception towards the end of his life, because you can listen to his speeches, the whole speeches, not just the snippets they play over and over for you again now to keep you pacified and docile. But if you listen to his whole speech and towards the end of his life, the speeches he did and stuff like that, he was becoming more and more so-called militant, but he was just awake to the trick they had of what they had done to us. And what they had did is, instead of fighting for equality so we could do our own thing, they said, no, you guys just need to integrate with us. And what they did, in a nutshell, is they tricked us into integrating. They sucked all of our businesses out of there because, okay, hey, you can use white businesses now. Well, we all started giving our money to them. Our businesses went out of business in our black neighborhoods. They sucked all of our money out of the black neighborhoods. And then there are no jobs. There's no black business in the black neighborhood. They sucked all the money out of us. They basically just took our money from us, And he realized that towards the end and started speaking on that, and then he died. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. We'll listen to a brief a part of one of his speeches here. So listen to this.
And we come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you are not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. And so as a result of this, we're asking you tonight to go out and tell your neighbors not to buy Coca-Cola in Memphis. Go by and tell them not to buy Seal Test milk. Tell them not to buy, what is the other bread? Wonder Bread. And what is the other bread, come to Jesse? Tell them not to buy Hart's bread. As Jesse Jackson has said, up to now, only the garbage men have been feeling pain. Now we must kind of redistribute the pain. We are choosing these companies because they have been fair in their hiring policies, and we are choosing them because they can begin the process.
Okay, so, and as he goes on, you can watch the rest of this. Here, I'll show you that's where it's at on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and type that in, and you can see over here to the right, there's kind of more speeches he's done, income redistribution, all that stuff like that, redistribution of wealth, stuff like that. Anyway, later on in that speech, he also says, and which I think is the main one that got him killed, is he said, pull your money out of their banks and put them in these black banks. And he goes on and names the banks. And if you listen to his teachings, he was more and more, hey, we need to separate from these people and do our own thing, and not separate in a hateful way, but just be about come together as a people like we were before he got that whole movement started, where there were black businesses, there were black lawyers, there were black doctors, there were black grocery stores, and black auto mechanics, and all that junk was black owned. We'd hire our own people, all that stuff like that. After the civil rights movement and all that stuff, after all that happened, it changed. All that, we started going to their stores. Our businesses, the black businesses, while they weren't as nice and as upscale looking, they employed our people. Okay, they kept the jobs in the black community, all that stuff like that. By the 70s, early 80s, all the money had been sucked out of black neighborhoods. You know, the black neighborhoods look like this. Let's see. All right. I'll pull up a picture. But all that money, 20 years later, or whatever. Let me see if I can pull. Oh, wait. Let me see if I can pull it up. Black. This is the picture you see. This is New York. See, this is what black neighborhoods look like by the 80s, just look like war zones, because there were no jobs there. There was, no black businesses. These white businesses weren't hiring black people, and they had pumped, and then what they come with, they pumped drugs into these neighborhoods, and that just accelerated the destruction. Because hey, the only option was either to sell drugs to make money, or in order to kill your daggone pain of being impoverished and destroyed, the only option was to take some drugs to ease the pain. And this Bible scripture here says it all. It says, this is Psalms 83:3, verse 3-5. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So they got together. They did that. This isn't conspiracy theory. The COINTELPRO documents and all that stuff came out where they took counsel. They had think tanks on how to keep us down. They have the recordings of Nixon talking, and Reagan's that one Reagan aide came out a while back before he died or was killed or whatever happened to him, but he came out and said, yeah, the war on drugs was a war against black people. It was all set up. I mean, it's all has come out, and it's not conspiracy theory or anything like that. This is, you can look at the federal documents, the classified documents that were released, that it was a war against us. It says, yeah, they have taken crafty counsel. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. And that was their big thing. They saw what happened with Marcus Garvey, how we united just one dude. And that's why I always say it only takes one person. But they saw Marcus Garvey and how we just came together. The biggest, unification, or whatever the word would be, the biggest coming together of our people in a short period of time. It didn't take much. And they saw that. They saw how we came together. And that was the beginning, the early stages of the COINTELPRO project, where they began to cut us off from coming together. They're afraid of us coming together. Like right after slavery, we were coming together. 20 years after slavery, we had successful, thriving black cities doing better than we're doing now. So let's cut them off from being a nation. Let's wipe any remembrance of who they are as a people away from them, and let's give them their own identity. They did that with our culture, with the music that they put on us now. We don't control anything. you know. So cut them off. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Okay, and they've come together. It's been a systematic plot by this wicked system, their nation system, their government. It's not ours. It's theirs. It rules in their best interests. Why it's pointless to vote. You get Democrat or Republican, it don't make a difference. But anyway, so yeah, but Martin Luther King, towards the end, he saw all this and he began warning us about all this stuff. And then as soon as he started speaking that, boom, he was cut off. Same with Malcolm X. As soon as he started speaking this type of stuff, boom, he was cut off. Even recently, Khalid Muhammad, as soon as he started speaking this type of stuff, boom, he was cut off. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Martin Luther King wasn't speaking this in spirit and in truth, in the truth of the word. He wasn't telling us, hey, we're the Hebrews. I don't know if he knew, because he had some alluded to it maybe slightly, but he wasn't living a lifestyle of somebody who was in the truth. But what's coming, what's happening now, what we're in the early stages are us finally coming to the knowledge of who we are again in the end times, and we're waking up to what's going on. And this system is beginning to come down. This empire that's ruled over us is beginning to come down under God's power, not any of ours. And it's our job to wake our people up and warn them, hey, repent, your kingdom's coming to an end and ours is beginning to start. But back to the main topic, yeah, Martin Luther King was deceived in the early stages. Like when he got into this movement, he was young. I mean, he was in his 30s, and he's dealing with these old crafty snakes in the government, and they manipulated him. But then he woke up, but it was too late, and he realized what they were doing. They basically just said, hey, give us your money, give us your businesses. They took our money, our businesses, and our minds, and said, hey, come on in. By the time when all the businesses closed, they didn't hire any of us. They didn't give any of us jobs, and they gave us drugs, and we were destroyed. And that's the short story of it, you know. And he was trying to warn us. He saw it, but it was too late. Like when he started putting out the warnings, boom, they cut him off. And then now all they teach you in school is, oh, Martin wanted us all to come together. He wanted us all to be one. And that's all they teach. He wanted everybody to come together. No, he wanted y'all to accept us, but y'all never did and still don't. The discrimination or whatever, they're in denial about it, but you see it. And also the answer is, and Martin Luther King was saying the same thing in the end. If you read and study his whole speeches, he was saying the same thing. Hey, we need to separate. We need to economically support our people, because that's what every other nation does. The only nation that doesn't do that is our nation. And if you want to debate me on that, it's so easy. I mean, the problem with our people is we listen too much to what's being said and we don't watch actions. We got to stop watching. We got to stop listening to what people are saying and look at actions. And then you wake up. And the wake up's painful. A lot of times the wake up comes with tears, but you got to want to see it. And it's real subtle and deceptive, but you got to want to see it. Otherwise, you're just going to you're going to have a life of pain. Some people never wake up. Some people wake up when it's too late, when there's a cop there shooting at them that they're arguing with or something like that. They don't know what the game is. But anyway, yeah, that's why the title of it is Deception of Martin Luther King. They deceived him, but he woke up out of deception. But his portrayal that's portrayed to you now in the mainstream media the way they portray him is a deception. That's not him. That's not what he was truly coming with. He's sitting there telling you, you saw it in the speech, telling you to boycott Coca-Cola, boycott Wonder Bread. He's telling them to boycott the banks and put their money in black banks. Okay? That's what he was teaching in the end. He wasn't teaching, oh, let's all come together and hey, we're all one while I steal your money out of your pocket and don't hire you for jobs and screw you over. He wasn't teaching that. But that's what they want you to think he teaches. So that's why our people just keep on doing the same thing year after year. And year after year, our things get worse and worse for our people. That guy came out with that report. We are worse off now than we were prior to the civil rights movement. There's more of us in jail. There's more broken families. There's more of us on drugs. There's less jobs in the black community. There's less black-owned businesses. There's less black lawyers. There's less black doctors. You know what I'm saying? Our kids are going crazy, you know. The family is destroyed more than it's ever been. We have no identity. They control our culture, our music, everything. You know, you cannot argue this. It's right there in your face. So what's the solution? What's the answer? The answer's simple. We need to start looking out for our own people. It's difficult sometimes because our people are just ignorantly destroyed brilliantly and perfectly. They're clueless. And it's our arduous task helping them, but it don't start with somebody up top like, oh, well, we need LeBron to lead us or we need these celebrities to lead. No, it starts with you. You need to begin to focus on helping our people instead of trying to move up in their society. Like if more of us stick together, we'll need less of their money and we can help our people because nobody else is going to help our people. Proof is year by year, we're more and more destroyed. I mean, look at some of these rappers now. Look, pull up some pictures. I mean, look at some of these guys. Hold on, phone's making noise. There we go. Okay. I'll just pull this one up real fast. Like, okay. That's our music. That's our music culture now. You know? I mean, really? Do you think we're controlling that? We're not. We're not controlling that. We're not controlling our music. You know, they're destroying us. Wake up and see that they're destroying us. And we got to begin to, it has to be according to the word. Like the more and more you can see that the Bible is trying to wake us up and save us, you know. But anyway, that's the title of the video, the deception of Martin Luther King. Do some more research into it. Watch more of my videos because that's what I'm about. I'm about coming together in the word as a Hebrew nation. I'm not about just teaching this thing. I'm talking about doing it. If you got a skill that's going to help our nation, use it to help our people. Come together with brothers like me. You know what I'm saying? We need to come together. Like I said, I'm a mechanic. That's my big thing. If there's a brother, I can fix his car. If he in the truth, I'm doing it for free. If he's not, I'm doing it for dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? But whatever you have, you got to bring it and use it to bring this nation up and for us to come together and take this burden off us because it's getting ready to get heavy. They're swearing in your boy this week on the 20th, I think it is. Things is going to change after that. And if you don't come together right now, by me telling you, you going to come together. You know, you're going to be forced together. If you don't come together on your own will, you're going to get pushed closer together. So come on, let's wake up, man. Get in contact with me. Let's build. That's what I'm talking about doing. All right. Anyway, you watching Spiritual Combat, and have a nice day.